For me, the biggest concern was the physical aspects. Is this going to work? Am I capable of, carrying this child?
By doing an embryo, oftentimes these are embryos that have been proven successful because the donors typically have had their own children through these embryos. They've already been created, and that's a huge relief for people to not have to go through that psychological stress.
The success rate of donor embryo or donor egg is really dependent on the age of the egg, not the age of the uterus. So a 46-year-old woman who uses an embryo that was created from a 30-year-old egg has the same likelihood of achieving a pregnancy as a 30-year-old patient.
Definitely a little bit of fear in there. Am I going to connect as well with my child in the sense that, we wouldn't have that genetic link? Would that connection still be there? Would I see pieces in her where I'm like, oh, that's me?
I wasn't completely sure I could connect with a child that wasn't my own flesh and blood. I can't overstate how much none of that mattered the first time we saw a heartbeat on the ultrasound. And since that day, and I haven't thought about it at all.
And the other part was, of course, how do you handle that relationship?
Another thing that comes up is how involved will the donors want to be in my parenting? We have vetted them to make sure that that's not their intention, that they're really looking at this as a gift.
And our donors are, even the word amazing, I think it falls short when I talk about, how they deal with this whole thing. So it was wonderful for us.
We were willing to be as open as they wanted. We don't feel the need to be super involved.
Like, it's our embryo, but it's not our child.
It's just our DNA. That's it.
Right. We really wanted them to understand there are no strings attached.
Universally, it supports that this is 100% your child. It may not have come from your eggs or partner's sperm, but unless you're using a gestational carrier, you're still pregnant with this child. You're still gestating this child. You're still delivering this child. You're still feeding this child. This child is still 100% yours.
I think what was so important to us from the beginning, what we wanted to make so clear was this is your baby. We understand that. We respect that. We have no intention on this child feeling like ours at all.
It may not have come from your eggs or partner's sperm, but unless you're using a gestational carrier, you're still pregnant with this child. You're still gestating this child. You're still delivering this child. You're still feeding this child.
We don't have enforceable visitation or other forced interactions required by the legal agreement, but I have not seen a case where an embryo donor has tried to assert custody of a child born from an embryo donation.
Yeah, I was glad that my opinions shifted over time. Yeah, it just, all that stuff I thought mattered just disappeared.
As soon as he was born, we were just super emotional, of course, right? But just so grateful and didn't even understand until we were holding this little baby, what a gift they had given us.
There's no words to describe the love that I felt for that baby. Once I was holding him, I just loved him so much.